Mitochondria is the energy factory of eukaryotic cells. In the mitochondria matrix, pyruvate from cytosolic glycolysis generates the electron carriers NADH and FADH through the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex and the Krebs cycle. NADH and FADH then passes their electrons onto oxygen by the electron transfer chain on the inner mitochondrial membrane, pumping protons across the membrane into the inner membrane space, which creates a proton gradient. This proton gradient is used by the ATP synthase to generate ATP. For ATP synthase, it contains two main subunits. These are the F1 subcomplex and the F0 subcomplex. The F1 subcomplex is where ATP is made from ADP and the inorganic phosphates. It contains three alpha subunits, three beta subunits, a gamma, a delta, and an epsilon subunit. The three beta subunits are the sites where ATP is synthesized. The gamma subunits act like a rotor that spins with the F0 stator, and that rotates in 120-degree increments. Its relative position with the three beta subunits determines substrate binding, bond making, and product release. For the F0 subcomplex, this is a site where protons enter the matrix from the inner membrane space, and that generates rotation. The F0 subcomplex is composed of three parts: the peripheral stalk that stabilizes the F1 head, the F0 stator, and the C rings. The protons enter and exit the F0 subunits through the proton half channels of two helices of the subunit A in the F0 stator. Glutamates of the C ring are protonated after protons enter. After the rotation of the C rings, the glutamates are deprotonated at the proton half channels. Arginine 182 of subunit A is known to be highly conserved across all species because it checks glutamate deprotonation, which is because the protonated glutamate won't be able to pass the arginine residue if the charges are positive, because the positive charges would repel each other. If the arginine 182 residue is mutated, the proton gradient and ATP synthesis will be uncoupled because the protons pass without forcing the C rings to rotate.